In The Flash, Barry Allen goes back in time in an attempt to make for himself a better future. And in the process, he's going to break the fabric of time. So, this movie follows the very popular and very good comic book of the DC Universe, Flashpoint, which is one of the best storylines that DC has ever made. And this movie does a really good job recreating it. There's a lot of good in this movie. We have really good characters that are very funny. We have good technology. We have great scenes, great CGI. But at some other point, we have just terrible CGI. There's some scenes that honestly just pulled me out of the movie. If you guys seen the movie, all the scenes with the Speed Force, which honestly there's quite a lot of them, where the CGI was just horrible. It's one of the worst CGI I've seen in my life, and I don't know why there was such an issue. I thought this movie had a big budget. Maybe they pulled the plug because that whole universe is getting a resetting after the Blue Beetle movie, but it was just horrible. There was even times where I look at my friends and we just started laughing. That's how bad the CGI was. But that's what's weird, because in some other scene, I was impressed. There's a scene where Supergirl lifts up a character in the sky with lightning and clouds, and it looks exactly like a comic book frame. So some scenes were great. Some other scenes were laughingly bad. I'm just confused, I guess. I just want to take a minute and talk about Batman. We have two different versions of Batman in this movie, and I love both of them. Batman is my favorite hero. He's my favorite character of all universe. And I was really happy to see these two different Batmans in this movie. So we have the Ben Affleck Batman, which was really cool. I love the way he moves. He uses the Batmobile. He uses the way he uses his grapple, his cape. It was super entertaining and something we haven't seen. It feels like a realistic take on the Batman character. I love it so much. And that's the same for the Michael Keaton version of Batman. I love the old technology. He's playing more retired Batman that's back in the fight after a few years. But he has all his old tech from the very old Batman movie. And it was really cool to see all these old technology modernized for this movie. What I really enjoyed is how they did the backstory of Flash in this movie. The way we learn how he got his power and how he lived with his power and all the death around him, all those strategies he lived, we don't live it through a flashback. We live it instead by him talking with his former younger self. So we kind of get a really unique way to tell origin story. And I really enjoyed the Supergirl character. She was really good, and the casting was phenomenal. She was acting so well. Actually, I liked her more than some of the versions of Superman we've seen. But the issue is we didn't see enough of her. I guess it's not her movie, but we're never going to get one. The whole universe is getting a reset, so we're not going to see her. We're going to see a new Superman. But that's too bad, because she did an amazing job in this movie. So overall, it's a good movie. It's really, really enjoyable, but it's nothing too special. I guess my biggest issue is that this storyline has been made in so many other ways and better ways. So it's just like, it's hard for this movie to live up to the hype. The Flashpoint Paradox movie is just a much better version of this movie. It's an animated movie. I suggest you guys go see that one instead. It's a much better movie. That movie for me is probably a 10 out of 10. Just keep in mind that the animation is a little bit old. It's not as the same as Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, but if you can filter out the animation, it's just an amazing movie. They did the storyline so much better with better characters, more detail. The whole Flashpoint Paradox, which is the whole idea behind the Flashpoint. I don't want to give too many details for people who are not aware, but that whole paradox, or that loop in time, I guess that's the only detail I'm going to say. That loop in time that brings the paradox is much well defined in the Flashpoint Paradox movie than in this one. And this one, it just feels like they shoved it at the end of the movie. They like briefly mention it. It's a weird thing where I think they should have detailed it much more. They should have leaned much more in that storyline. So my final verdict for this movie is going to be a 7 out of 10. So it isn't great, it isn't bad, it's fine, it's a good time, it's enjoyable, but it's not the movie DC needed to end up the universe, right? I guess they have one more try with Blue Beetle in a few months. Let's hope they end with a bang. But yeah, after that, we're going to have to wait for the whole James Gunn universe, the whole universe reset, which is going to happen, I think, end of 2024, if I'm correct. I'm very excited for that universe. We'll have to see. I'm going to give it a good shot. James Gunn is a really good director. But yeah, thank you guys for watching my second review. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.